Hello, Pridelings, and welcome back to the Cat Pride podcast. I am your hostess, the Alien Cat. Today, we are going to be talking about Stranger Things. Now, we're going to do a few things for this specific episode. Basically, I'm going to turn this into a kind of a mini series, I guess, where every episode or every other episode, I will be talking about specific seasons of Stranger Things. I have been re-watching the series actually specifically for this podcast because season 5 is supposed to drop at the end of November. And I thought it would be really fun to talk about the show because I personally really love Stranger Things and I've been wanting to rewatch it anyway for season 5. So I thought it would be really fun to rewatch the seasons and then to talk about them here on the podcast. So what we're going to do today for this specific episode, we are going to watch the trailer for season 5 together. Now, technically, I already watched it, but I think I only watched half of it because I didn't want spoilers. And then I thought to myself, it would actually be really fun to kind of watch it here and then share my thoughts on it and what I hope to also see in the last season of Stranger Things, or at least they made it seem like it is the last. I think they even said that this is going to be the last. Part of me kind of hopes that it actually is, mainly because it's very hard to have a very good show kind of drag on for a long time. I personally wouldn't say drag on, but the more seasons you make, the harder it is to keep the quality of those episodes, especially with such an amazing show known as Stranger Things. So I think if season 5 really is going to be the last, I honestly hope that it will be just as amazing as season 1, because season 1 was a banger. So yeah, that is what we are going to do for that part of the podcast. And then afterwards, after we are done talking about the season 5 trailer, I am going to be sharing my thoughts on season 1. I have rewatched all of season 1. Spoiler alert, I love it. I think it's amazing, and I wanted to talk about it. And then we will also end the podcast with something a little bit different. It's a segment that I like to call What Have I Been Watching / Reading, where basically I talk about shows or movies that I've been watching in my spare time and or books that I have also been reading in my spare time, because why not? But yeah, today's main theme is Stranger Things. So yeah, feel free to share your thoughts on the trailer, on the show in general, on season 1 specifically, whatever you want. Are you a fan of the show? Do you think it's overrated? Oh, and also, grab a drink, grab a snack. I just had breakfast, so I'm not too hungry. But I've got some ice cold water with me, as per usual. And I've also got some English breakfast tea. And let's just get right into the season 5 trailer of Stranger Things. Hello, Stave. Okay.
Burn commencing in 5, 4.
They all grow up so fast. It's amazing.
2, and
Oh, my goodness. I remember more or less how season 4 ended. It was like, kind of ended on a bit of a cliffhanger.
Been through. Just think.
I forgot about that.
It ties us together
Cool music.
forever.
The final chapter. See, they basically claim it is the last. I kind of hope it is, and I hope it ends with an absolute bang, because I really love the show and I think it's awesome. Oh, puppies. Look at the puppies. It's the big puppies. The music. Very fitting. Well, is that Max?
Let's end this, kid.
Yeah, I did not see this. Is Vecna back? No, I don't think so. Or maybe, I mean, it didn't look like him. Okay. Ah! My goodness gracious. Okay, thoughts. Dang. It definitely seems like it is going to be intense and gut-wrenching, even though, to be fair, pretty much every season has been gut-wrenching, for the most part at least. And I am curious if the figure that we saw, if that was Vecna, or maybe it's the actual king of the Upside Down. I don't know. I am definitely glad that I'm rewatching Stranger Things, and that I will also be talking about it on the podcast, because I do remember some things, but I don't remember enough, I think, to be able to go like, oh wait, that and this and that, this all that. But I am pumped. I hope that season 5 really will be awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Hello, so fun fact. Did you know that there are hundreds of data brokers out there whose sole purpose is to buy and sell your data? Did you also know that they don't even have to tell you about it? Okay, maybe not so fun fact, but well, one of these data points is your IP address, which data harvesters use to identify you and your location. And this is where ExpressVPN comes into play. Woohoo! With the click of a button, my connection gets rerouted through an encrypted server, masking my IP address, making it much more difficult for third parties to harvest my data. You can download the app on your smartphone, on your computer, your smart TV, and it really is that easy. So if you would like to keep your data private, use my link right now at expressvpn.com/thealiencat666. That is expressvpn.com/thealiencat666. Use that link and you can get up to 4 months of ExpressVPN for free. And the link for it would also be down in the description box. Thank you so much, ExpressVPN, for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get right back to it. Right, now that we got that out of the way, now let's talk about season 1. I remember that when season 1 first came out, I watched every episode with my parents. I think we watched basically season 1, 2, and 3 together. My parents stopped after that. I, however, continued because I just really love the show, and my parents got a little bit tired of it, but that's, yeah. But anyway, when it first came out, I remember that we were just amazed at how it was dark and edgy, and the soundtrack is amazing as well. I mean, the theme music is freaking amazing. I remember that after the show came out, I actually looked for soundtracks of the show, and also similar music styles as well. I think that's also how I came across music artists like Sticky Android and Enigma T, I think they're called, and also a Dance with the Dead as well, and just some really awesome artists. So yeah, it was a great time when the show first came out, and like I said, I just love how dark and edgy it was, and it was pretty different from what I've seen before. I think the darkest TV show I've ever seen prior to that is American Horror Story, and that is actually my favorite TV show ever, just because of how dark and gruesome it is. I absolutely adore it. I will make a whole episode talking about American Horror Story. I don't think I would rewatch everything, because there's one specific season of American Horror Story I refuse to rewatch. It is season 7, The Cult. It is my least favorite season of American Horror Story. In fact, it is my most hated. I hate it so much. I refuse to rewatch it. I don't want to either. So, and actually, now that I think about this though, while I may be listening to Aim2 Head mix, as specifically their dark techno industrial cyberpunk mix, that's actually what I am listening to now, and why I'm wearing headphones during the podcast, so that I can listen to music. Why don't we actually listen to Dance at the Dead? Well, I will. You guys won't be able to hear it, but it fits the theme. It really fits the theme of today's episode. So yeah, so let's go ahead and do that then, because I do love these guys. Oh yeah, the Shape album of Dance at the Dead is the first album that I found of theirs after Stranger Things, and it fits the vibe so freaking well. I'm pretty sure that one of their songs, if not more, were actually used in Stranger Things. I think in one of their later seasons, possibly season 3 or 4. When I get to that season, when I rewatch it, I will let you guys know, Because I do remember that when I watched the show, I recognized one of the songs from Dance at the Dead, and I was like, oh my god, they used it, oh my god. So yeah. Anyway, so yes, my thoughts on in season 1. Honestly, it is amazing. 10 out of 10. So freaking good. The cast are freaking amazing. I think that these a group of kids, I think that they were some of the best child actors of that at time. Simply because just how, I mean, one, they felt normal, as though I'm just watching a group of nerds and young boys just playing D&D. Like, it felt so real. Their acting was just amazing, and they still are great actors. Like, the freaking amazing, and the rest of the cast is also amazing. I mean, Winona is amazing, and the rest of the cast is as well. Just really, really, really good. Oh, and also, just to show you guys how committed I am to to my rewatch of Stranger Things, specifically for the podcast, I have written notes of each episode. I don't think that you can see because of the glare from the light here, but look, I got episode 1 and 2 here, and I've got the other ones here as well. Like, just writing about each episode. Each episode has its own a few lines, and specifically for episode 1, I specifically wrote, the opening is intense and insane, and that is freaking awesome. The first episode was the vanishing of Will Byers. Basically, it's the episode where Will disappeared. I remember as I was watching the show, I was like super, super pumped to be rewatching it again because it is so freaking amazing. I was like, oh my god, yes, this show is so good. The music is awesome. I love this freaking cast. They're amazing. the characters are also fantastic as well. I also love how the opening scene, it brings you straight into the action. You are in this weird lab. Alarms are going off, like something bad happened, somebody effed up, and it just brings you straight into it. I love it. I'm here for it. I think that is the way to start a horror sci-fi TV show with a bang, and it's just so good. So good. I love it. I love it. I love it. I also remember that when I was rewatching the first episode and that I saw Benny, the guy who was trying to help Elle and gave her some fries, and he ended up dying because of the bad people. It was so sad, but it definitely also shows, I think, the tone of the episode, that these people are ruthless and they will stop at nothing to get what they want back, which we have seen. And it's just insane. I also have a lot of respect for Hopper. I mean, when we first see him, he is kind of, the drunk cop who's like not very good at his job, but then more things start to happen, and also we learn a little bit more about his story and how he ended up where he was with booze, and I think also drugs, even though they weren't too specific with that. I mean, there were pills and stuff, I think, in the opening episode with him, but mainly booze. And I do also have a lot of respect for Hopper. I mean, at first, he didn't really take Joyce too seriously, and that's fair because of her reputation, and that sucks because her son has completely disappeared, and it's like, where is my son? Which is completely fair. Also, I think it was pretty interesting how quick she was to, I don't know if believe is the correct word, but I guess we will go with that, how quickly she was to believe that something almost unearthly is happening, and that with the smallest sign of the supernatural type of a thing, she was just so ready, and she wasn't even denial. She was just like, she was basically looking for signs, and she got them, which I personally think is interesting, that she got these signs and she didn't dismiss them, because a lot of times, like, say you have a lot of supernatural horror films where there are clear signs that something is happening, but the characters don't really do anything until the very last minute, which always pisses me off. On the one hand, I get it, because they're probably in denial, and that, they don't want to actually deal with this issue, but it still pisses me off. Like, guys, the windows are broken and things are flying around. Please do something, you know? Which is also why my favorite horror film is called Lights Out. One of the main reasons actually why it is my favorite is because the characters did not wait around. The moment things started going to shit, they took action. Now, mind you, there is a history there. So they did have a little bit more of a reason to act. But even so, they did. They acted pretty much right away, which I highly respect. Plus, the plot itself, I think, is really good. I do like the cast. I think the acting is a little meh-ish. It's like meh good. It's like, it's kind of there. But the film is great. Anyway, back to Stranger Things. So basically my point with Joyce is that I love that she got signs and then she was like, okay, I see you. I don't know what to do with this. So she was like always like try to find ways to communicate with Will somehow. And yeah, let's see what else I got here. I even wrote here as a line from episode 3. Joyce is awesome, believing the impossible, and will do anything for Will. So yeah, that's basically my observation from that episode and from the ones before that as well. And I remember also when I first watched the show and when they pulled Will out of the lake, it was very like, okay, I think I was like, what? Wait a minute, no way. And then we find out afterwards that actually that was not Will, that was a puppet. I also love how Joyce was very much like, it's mind-boggling that she sees the puppet, that they took great care in making it look exactly like Will. And it is sus that obviously, it was the people of the state, or however they wanted to call it, that basically did the autopsy and blah, blah, blah. I also love that Hopper was sus about that as well. It's like, okay, why didn't our team deal with it? Because it's like, why go through the extra trouble for this kid? Like, what? Like, something isn't adding up. So this also proves that Hopper really is a great cop in the sense that he sees things that don't add up, and he will do whatever he can to find the answers, even if it gets him tased and knocked out, basically, because that's what also happened. But back to Joyce, I think it's amazing how she is so strong-willed that she knows that Will is still alive, so much so that when she sees his body, she is like, no, that is not him. And you could also say that she is in denial. But I think when you reach a point where when you communicate to your son, or at least you think that it is your son, we know that it was actually Will. But what is interesting also is that she doesn't think that he is a ghost as well. That is actually what I find interesting, because in my head, if those things were to happen to me, I would immediately think ghost. And hence why I think it's even more interesting that when she sees the body, she is like, no, that is not him. Absolutely not him. Because even with the phone thing, yeah, it was super weird when I think she got the phone call and she heard Will, but that weird thing happened to the phone. I personally would still think ghosts. Something supernatural is happening. It's really weird. But what I also love about Joyce is that she doesn't deny that what she says and believes and knows sounds absolutely insane. Like, she knows how weird it all sounds. And I love how, for the most part, she really sticks to her guns and to what she believes in, up until her ex-husband comes in and kind of brings her down. I think at that point, though, when she sees La'ani, she was at her lowest also, because it was just after she saw Will and that she couldn't feel him anymore. So she was actually worried, I think, that he might have been dead. So yeah, very interesting. I love Joyce. I don't know if she's my favorite character. I don't actually know if I have a favorite character. It's kind of like with Avatar: The Last Airbender. If you were to ask me who my favorite character from the show is, I honestly would not be able to tell you. I love them all for like each one for their own reasons why, but I don't have one that I am particularly more drawn to than the other. Honestly, and when I say all, I mean the gang. Plus some of the other side characters, I think that they're just amazing. So the same thing here with Stranger Things, honestly. Like, I love Hopper, I love Joyce, I love the kids, I love Steve and Nancy and Jonathan as well. And speaking of Steve, I remember when I first watched the show, I thought he was a pretty big jerk. Like, I remember when I first watched Stranger Things, I thought that Steve was a classic jockey jerk. And to a certain point, he kind of is, but he is also pretty decent as well. He has a good heart also, even though he does do some not very nice things, to say the very least. But I do also think it is thanks to the influence of his other two friends, who I absolutely hate them. I think that they are the worst. So I am actually glad that towards the end, Steve was like, fuck you guys, you are miserable, and I don't want that in my life. So that's what's awesome. However, when he broke Jonathan's camera, honestly, I don't blame him. Maybe he crossed a line. I personally think if that were to happen to me, and say somebody took pictures like that of my partner, I feel like I probably would have reacted the same way. Like, it's completely understandable. Now, is it the right thing to do? Probably not, but also, like, I get it. And to be fair, Jonathan got off easily. They could have easily kicked his ass. Not that I condone that or anything. I am just saying that on that, he got off pretty lucky, even though breaking that camera was gut-wrenching anyway. But yeah, it definitely made him look very bad and very sus and very creepy. Very, very creepy. I remember when I was watching him actually taking their pictures and stuff, I was like, no, don't do it. They think you're creepy anyway. Just don't do it. You will get caught. And he does get caught. I mean, in the end, it is good that he did take their pictures, because he was able to catch a picture of not only Barbara right before she disappeared, or / was taken by the Demogorgon, but he also got an image of the Demogorgon anyway. So it served its purpose. I do also like how they sort of team up, though, Jonathan and Nancy, and that not just them, but also Joyce and Hopper and the kids, obviously with Eleven, and that towards the end, they all come together with all of their information and what they've learned, and they kind of, combine forces and stuff, because if they were all together throughout the whole show, they would have been way too OP, and there wouldn't be a show, because everybody is brilliant. Like, each one has their own strengths, and that they are able to kind of balance each other, and it's their whole group dynamic is really, really good. So yeah, super awesome. Let's see, what else did I write? The cast is amazing. Love that Joyce doesn't believe the body is actually, well, yeah, we talked about that. The characters are amazing, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. Episode 5, The Flea and the Acrobat. Yeah, that was an interesting way to kind of show what the upside down is with the Flea and the Acrobat. I do remember, though, when they first talked about it, I was kind of confused, like, what they actually meant by it. But then I thought a bit more. I was like, okay, I understand. So yeah, that, and also the whole you fold the paper plate and you punch a hole in it, and it's like you need a lot of energy in order to create the gate, which is what Elle did by accident ish. Well, now that begs the question also. I know that they wanted her to make contact with this creature. I don't think they planned on opening a gate, or at least if they planned on doing that, I definitely do not think that they were ready. Hence why at the beginning of the season, we have the whole alarms going nuts and this guy running to the elevator only to get devoured by the Demogorgon. So yeah, I don't think they meant to open a gate, but it's one of those things where you F around, you find out. They fucked around, they found out. But I will say they handled the aftermath interestingly. They acted very quickly also. But I think that they were also much more concerned that their biggest asset, which is Elle, is not there anymore. So they were a little bit nervous, I think, to find out, like, where is she? Where is she? We need her now. Let's see, I also wrote that this is when Hopper finds out Joyce was right. Oh yeah, right. This is the part or the episode before where Hopper breaks into the lab. Oh, yeah. I have to say, the scene where Hopper accidentally bumps into one of the guards in Hawkins' lab, and he's trying to improvise and be, and to be like, oh, so and so is this enemy, and the guy's like, who? So Hopper's like, he basically is like, well, plan B, and he knocks him out like, bruh, I love you, man. I think that was the moment when I first watched the show where I was like, yes, Hopper's amazing. Yes, I approve of this. Hopper's great. So great. So anyway, I don't think I actually spoke at all about the kids. I mean, I did a little while ago, but not like in this order here. I think that the kids, again, like I said, the actors are amazing. All of them. Like, freaking amazing. I love them. I think that they're great. The characters themselves, I think that they are fantastic. Like, I love them so much. I also respect that they will do anything for their friend Will. And I remember when I first watched the show, I thought that Lucas was a little bit too rough on Elle in the sense that, like, I get it, she's completely new, and that they find out that very, very bad people are after her. So it makes her even more sus that, like, this girl is bad news. We should not be dealing with her, because then we will also have to deal with the craziness. But I do also think that what Dustin said makes a good point, that Mike and Lucas are really, really good friends, and that Elle comes along and all he wants to do is hang out with her, and that's fair. So, like, the conversation that Dustin and Mike had on that, I think that was pretty much on point. I also love how the Dustin, he really is super, like, nothing really gets past him when it comes to people, his friends. Like, he's very in tune to what people are thinking, especially his friends. And he's very sweet as well. He's also hilarious. I mean, to be fair, they all are, but especially Dustin, he is just great. Classic nerds, D&D nerds, geeks, and I love it. I also love how you start the show with normal, average kids. I'm also talking about Nancy and Steve and Jonathan. Normal kids, and then all hell breaks loose, and they are forced to fight for their lives. And you have a lot of growth, a lot of screaming and yelling as well. I mean, when it comes to Nancy, so at first I was like, okay, she is a school nerd, she cares about her studies, and she's a little bit of a goody two-shoes who is in her rebel stage, whatever, and that's fine. She's honestly one of the more braver characters. Like, she has a challenge, she is not afraid, and even if she is afraid, she overcomes her fears and she just goes full force on whatever it is she is facing. I mean, mind you, she had to get to that, right? But you especially see it in the episode where Jonathan and Nancy are in his house and they try to lure the Demogorgon, and then Steve shows up. Oh my god, when Steve shows up at the house, I mean, one, I honestly love that he was coming over to say sorry and that he effed up and he wants to do a right. I appreciate that, honestly. I think that really speaks volumes for who he is, who he actually is as a person, and I think that is awesome. But just that whole scene itself, I thought was hilarious. It was intense, obviously, because we know that the Demogorgon is coming and there's a lot of screaming and yelling and just chaos, and it's like, blah, 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 blah. I thought it was done so well. One, it's very real. You have these kids, these teenagers, that are not used to dealing with that, and so there's a lot of chaos happening. I mean, they have a really good plan, right? They planned it out well. with the bear trap and the gasoline and stuff. Like they planned it out well. It didn't really help in the end, but it did something. But just that whole scene and Steve just being absolutely terrified and screaming as well. I thought it was perfect. It was such a great scene. Let's see what else I wrote. Let's see. Oh, I also wrote that the show really knows how to keep you engaged and wondering how things end up. Yeah, I remember when I first watched it, I was like on the edge of my seat the whole time, being like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, what's gonna happen? Oh my god, so good, so freaking good. I also wrote, I love Joyce. I don't remember exactly what happened here in the bathtub episode. I think how okay. I personally think that Joyce is great. I think what really sealed it even more so for me is that Elle is used to being around adults who don't really look out for her actual best interests. They look out for their best interests, but not hers. And then we have Joyce, who comes in and treats her like a normal scared kid, tries to comfort her. And while she has her own personal motives, to find Will, she also knows that, I think at least, that the best way for her to do that is Elle is the way to reach Will. And that the best way to do so is to keep her calm and to make her feel safe. Because if she feels safe with Joyce and everyone else, then one, she's more likely to cooperate, but also because she's been through a lot as is. So it's nice for her to receive some actual caringness, because Joyce is a very caring and loving mother. Despite all of her flaws, she's very, very caring. And I love how she also said that she will be by Eleven's side the whole time. And she's right there with her. She's holding her hand, comforting her and making sure that she is okay. And that, like actually showing 11 that not all adults are out to get her. You have those who are actually trying to help her. So I think that was also a nice thing for Elle to see. So yeah, let's see what else I wrote. Right, so for the last episode, basically I ended up with love this show. So that's basically how I ended that. Yeah, honestly, like I said, season 1 for me, honestly, 10 out of 10. The pacing is great. When it needed to be fast, it was fast, really fast as well. When it needed to slow down a bit, it gave you the time to process things, especially during those scenes where Elle is in the in-between, that black void space, and how, like, I love how it made everything seem just fast, endless, dark, and just empty as well. It's like very eerie. I love that vibe. And yeah, just a great show, honestly. And I cannot wait to continue to watch the show. And for I don't know if the following episode or the one after that, we will be back here to talk about season 2. Also, I honestly think that I could get into so much more, like really dive deep into the episodes as well, but I don't have enough time for it. So if there are actually any specific episodes that you would like for me to do a little deep dive on, feel free to let me know in the comments. And now we're going to do something a little bit more lighthearted, and I wanted to talk a little bit about what I've been watching / reading in my spare time. So as a little fun fact, I love a lot of cop shows. Shows like Law and Order, SVU, Cold Case. And speaking of which, I've actually been rewatching a Cold Case. I think I'm either on season 4 or 6. I don't remember, because I also did a rewatch of House, but I stopped at season 6 because it was just too much for me. I can talk about that in a different episode. But I think I'm on season 4 of Cold Case. I personally love the show, but I am taking a little bit of a break for it because it does get very repetitive very quickly. And I reached a point also where I already guess who dies, and I guess who is the perpetrator fairly early on. And on the one hand, it is fun to kind of know if I was right or wrong, because usually I'm pretty okay with actually guessing who actually did it, or who I feel like they make it seem like they did, but actually no. So I basically picked up on the patterns of the show, and at this point I'm only watching it because I want to know what is happening in the cops' lives more so, because it is fun to kind of learn a little bit about them, and we do get to learn very small bits of information about them. But like I said, I'm taking a little bit of a break from that. I think that the show itself, though, is amazing. I used to watch it when I was in middle school, I think, or something. I always loved the episodes, and I was actually really glad that I got to rewatch it, because not only do I get to see the show from the very beginning to where it ended, but I get to see the characters as well and their life, the cops. But what I've actually recently started watching is a show called The Rookie, which is also a cop show. I think I'm on episode 5 or 6 of season 1. It's definitely very fast-paced, in your face. It's so far I like it. I'm curious to see how the show plays out. So yeah, I love cop shows, and so that's what I have been watching in my spare time. Now I wanted to talk about the stuff that I have been reading. I started reading with a kid because I watched the play live in London a few years ago. Loved it because it was hilarious, and I didn't think it would actually be humorous. I didn't really know what to expect from the show. I just, honestly, all I knew is that it was about the Wicked Witch of the West, and that the song Gravity was in it. I also thought there was another song from the play, but actually I was in the audience waiting for that one song to come on, only to realize afterwards that song I was waiting for was actually from a completely different play, which pissed me off. I was like, God damn it, I was waiting and waiting, and it never came. That was annoying. But the play itself was hilarious. I loved it. I thought it was great. So thanks to the play, I've been wanting to read the book. I got the book, I think, a year or two after I watched the play, and I started reading it. I got to page 80, I think, or something. And there's just something about it that kind of irks me. There's something about, I don't know, I don't think it's the writing style itself, but there's something about it that I don't like. I don't know if maybe I need to be in the right headspace to read it. So I put the book down for a while, and I thought to myself, okay, I don't want to read this book now. I do want to still try to give it a chance. Maybe, again, I have to be in a better headspace. If any of you guys read Wicked, do any of you also feel the same way that I did? I would like to show what I have been actively reading in my spare time. I have been reading this. It is called The Cat Who Saved Books by Sosuke Natsuwaka. Oh wait, Natsukawa. If I completely butchered the name, I am so sorry. I also got the sequel called The Cat Who Saved the Library. I actually bought the second one first, thinking that, oh, okay, cute, because the cover is cute. And look, I don't know if you can see, but look at the kitties. There's a kitty on the paper. It's so cute. It's a kitty and a ball of light. I don't know. It's this beautiful kitty. It's so cute. So anyway, I accidentally bought the second book first, and it also has like the same idea, but the second book is blue here, and it also has the tabby cat and I think a book, actually, like tabby cat and books. But yeah, it's really cute. I remember when I saw the book in the bookstore, I was like, oh my god, I have to get it. I have to get it, you know? So anyway, this book is about a ginger tabby cat, which is adorable. Basically, he helps this kid out, and I have my own personal theory. I'm only on page, let's see, where am I? I'm on page 59 out of, I think there are, 300 pages in here? Oh, less, sorry. There are 220 pages of this. So I'm like, yay, way through. Anyway, the premise is that there is this kid whose grandpa dies, and his grandfather owns a bookstore, and the bookstore now belongs to the kid. And when I say kid, I mean he's like He is a teenager. I think he's 17. He's in his last year, I think, of high school or something. I don't remember, actually. Oops. So anyway, so then walks in this random talking cat, basically saying that you have to save books, blah, blah, blah. What I personally think is that this tabby cat is here to help the kid process his grief and how to stand up for himself and how to basically grow a backbone and to move forward with his life. That is what I personally think based off of what I have read. Now, I could be completely wrong by the time I finish reading the book, but up until then, this is what I currently think. And I have to say, the cat is adorable and sassy and has an attitude. And I think it's honestly great because it also pushes the kid as well to kind of stand up for himself, to kind of fight back also. So yeah, what have you been reading or watching in your spare time? I would love to know in the comments down below. And that is all the time we have for today. Thank you all so much for tuning on in. I appreciate it. If you enjoyed this episode and found it entertaining, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos every week. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of Stranger Things. And are you also looking forward to season 5? Or if you're worried about it. If you would like to see full-length reactions to movies and TV shows, come and join the Patreon. And speaking of the Patreon, thank you all so much to my lovely patrons for supporting the channel. I appreciate it so much. And thank you to all of you on YouTube as well for all of the likes and the comments and for watching the videos as well. I appreciate it so much. Until next time.